Hello guys, how are you doing today? So I'm back with the daily summary and news analysis of the Hindu in less than 10 minutes. And today is 26th of December 2016, and this video lesson will be presented to you by me, Dipanshu Singh. So you can read more about me on this slide. You can also follow me in an academy on this link. And it's already at the end of the month. We are nearby the closing of this month. Do rate, review and recommend these courses if you have found that these have been beneficial for you. And do write in your suggestions if you have any so that we can improve the course. So the first opinion today covers the issue of terrorism and increasing number of terrorist attacks, especially in Europe, and the ones related to lone wolf attacks. So this article has been written by a former CBI director. So the basic essence and the summary of this article pertains to that there has been an increasing number of terrorist attacks, possibly due to the suppression of the ISIS in Middle Eastern regions because of the action by the forces from Russia, US, and the coalition forces, especially with Turkey and the Assad's regime as well. So the issue is over here is that the attacks basically reflect the growing exasperation of the actions by the wide spectrum forces, especially in West Asia, because of gross external interference. As you know that recently the assassination of the Russian ambassador to Turkey, and the guy who carried out the assassination was actually a police official, and he was very frustrated with the fact of the forces, Russian forces taking on in Syria, but then a lot of innocent people have died. So maybe that is because of that frustration. And ISIS does not stop claiming the credits for carrying out these attacks, obviously because they have been backed down due to the recent actions taken by the forces, the security forces of different countries. Now the Turkish president is actually in a dilemma because his support base is actually eroding, and he needs to balance it with his deteriorating ties with the West Asian nations, especially Western world as well. And obviously Putin is a very hard president. He will not back down. He will definitely take some stern action in the recent incident, and he has continued to obviously support the Assad's regime. So obviously the West does not like, and US also does not like. So the issue over here is that there has been an increasing number of rising lone wolf attacks, especially in Europe, and this is also because of their porous borders, and you can get an access to any country through the Schengen visa, and therefore it has these incidents have actually is a challenge for two global leaders, especially Vladimir Putin and Angela Merkel, who is the German chancellor, because Putin, you remember, has his hands full after the issue of Ukraine and Crimea, and obviously he faces threat from the Chechen rebels, who are there is an information regarding that they are working in collaboration with ISIS as well. So that's the issue as well with the Putin's regime as well. And the other issue with Angela Merkel is that she obviously allowed and took a bold and drastic step of allowing so many people and refugees into the Germany. So a lot of them have actually turned up and become terrorists, and they are carrying out these activities, terrorist attacks. So she's under a lot of pressure, and obviously the elections are nearby, and there's a very difficult chance of she winning it back again. So there's a continued pressure on these two global leaders as well. So, and also the ISIS under immense pressure to look outward and make its presence felt throughout spectacular actions, and these lone wolf attacks basically help them. So they claim the responsibility even if they had not carried it out, and the lone wolf attacks basically have the advantage of they use the lesser resources and in trying to inflict maximum damage. And it's really difficult to understand the psychology of these terrorists, because you cannot suspect them now by monitoring their activities daily. Obviously a role of the neighbors and the employers becomes important in this case. Therefore intensified electronic and physical surveillance of suspected groups will not help. There has to be a combined effort, and there has to be an effort by the security and law enforcement agencies to somehow produce quick and effective results, even if it involves using the means and methods which may not be exactly pass the test of ethics. But you got to do what we have to do. So you have to ensure the security of your country. So the next article is about the indictment of by abstention by the US against Israeli. There was a resolution against the illegal settlements program in occupied Palestinian territories. So this is a remarkable departure from the earliest stands of US, who has been a close ally of Israel, and this is in light with the deteriorating relationship between the US President Barack Obama and the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And in fact, the president-elect Donald Trump had also reflected that he will try and give a different response. His foreign policy will be a little different from the earlier ones. So basically, this has been taken out as a leaf from that book. And also, there has been a claim that from Israeli PM that this was also done under the Obama's regime as well. So this can be maybe a departing gift from the Obama's regime. But otherwise, most of the countries see this activity of Israel as a hindrance to peace and as an illegal activity in West Bank. And Israeli PM has said, in fact, summoned the U.S. ambassador and a lot of ambassadors of different countries who have voted against Israel in this UNSC resolution. However, the issue is that this resolution under Chapter 6 of the UN Charter is not binding and comes only with recommendations. Obviously, Israel had defied it. They will not accept it. Like the UNCLOS agreement, which China does not agree to South China Sea. So as I already told you that there will be a continued shift from the policy of US towards Israel. Obviously, it has been one of the biggest military and financial aid supplier to Israel. But there has been a remarkable shift now in the foreign policy. So it will definitely have implications for India as well. So do attempt this question regarding that because Israel is our close partner and defense ally as well. And India is one of the biggest defense partners of US. So that this will definitely affect the relationship between the two countries, and how does India manage well depends on that. The next news is regarding the Supreme Court is saying that the government and the justice system, the criminal justice system, should be more survivor-centric in case of sexual abuse victims. And steps like POSCO Act have actually helped in in this cause, but there will be a continued social stigma, so involves a collaborated effort of the civil society as well. And as part of the Vibrant Gujarat Summit, 9 Nobel laureates have agreed to take part in this exhibition. And 2016 has been a remarkable year for judiciary and executive because there has been an hostile interference between judiciary and government over appointment of judges and related to different issues as well. And the genesis of this hostility is obviously because of the NJC decision, which was struck down by the court. And the government has been continuously blaming the judiciary for continued activism, which is amounting judicial overreach. They are crossing the line. They're obviously crossing the Lakshman Rekha of interfering in executive decisions. So there have been numerous examples of this. Their interference in the Uttarakhand legislature issue and the quashing over Andhra Pradesh speaker's discretion, as well as upholding the validity of states on taxing goods entering the territory, whether it will be Singur land issue or allotment and banning of liquor on the highways, and even the Lodha committee panel interference in regarding BCCI. But apart from this, there have been some recent good decisions of the judiciary as well, which should have been taken up by the government. So the judiciary had accepted that they will take and hear in-depth arguments of the LGBT community related to Section 377 of the IPC. And obviously, they have given landmark verdict in Haji Ali regarding Haji Ali and the temple entry in Sabrimala and the Shani temple entry for women. And they've also taken a firm stand regarding the issue of Jallikattu and animal cruelty. And even they have dismissed the petition of government in case of the Kaveri water tribunal issue, that the Supreme Court does not have any jurisdiction regarding this. So in all, it has been a balanced year for both the judiciary and the government, and they need to work it down together, to resolve these issues and for the development of India as a whole as well. So the next is about the some reports that state that demonetization will actually help in boosting the credit flow. There has been a report by CII, and they've also recommended the creation of a interlinked global database which could be accessed by financiers. And the finance minister also stated that lower cash in circulation, which actually will help in reducing the fiscal deficit and increase budgetary allocation for defense and rural sector. And there has been a suggestion on the soft border approach. Basically, it's that you do not keep a very strict border regime across the borders, and you allow the people living in the border areas to intermingle and take part in trade and activities, even if there are hostile countries. So India could be a part of CPEC. That was a suggestion by a professor of Tsinghua University. And the concept of soft borders have been used previously as well during the Srinagar-Muzaffarabad bus services. So there can be a good move to boost trade and relationship between the two countries. And there has been an interesting question on black and brown carbons. Obviously, black carbon is inorganic and brown carbon is organic. And So you can go through this article. It's very important. You can understand the difference between black and brown carbon. And the IIT Gandhinagar scientists have actually developed for the first time high resolution maps of irrigated areas of lands, which was not available because the irrigated maps developed by the FAO were of low resolution, and the high-end resolution maps were only of IWMI were only available for just 1 year. So very important for irrigation, and if you link it with the geography concept and irrigation programs of government. So this is for today, guys. Thank you so much and have a good day.